Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of some F1 22 game news. Today we're going to be taking a look at yet another developer deep dive videos featuring most of this features VR and F1 Live as well, but there are some other new features that they have been included in this video, and if you want to go and watch this video then please go ahead. But Lee Mather, of course, he does tend to go on a bit as well. There's the final one on audio and music, which I'm not entirely sure what we're going to see, as I see the supercars there, and of course some gameplay which will never actually have access to any of those replay cameras whatsoever. Again, here starting off with some F1 Live, of course. Here are some hats that you can use that you'll never see in the game. That's one thing I have seen with F1 Live, is that you're going to be seeing this for about 2 minutes of the entire game cycle. So they've spent time doing this, and it looks okay. But, and this is a big but, it's pointless. It's absolutely pointless, because nobody's going to be seeing it, or for a very small amount of time over the entire game cycle. If they integrated it into career mode a bit more, and one idea I did have was, if you recall back to Breaking Point, they had that little room. You know, maybe if there was an enhanced storyline, and again, I imagine that F1 Live, probably all of this stuff would make sense with Breaking Point, because you've got all those cutscenes. Imagine having, like with the journey in FIFA with Breaking Point, for example, your customization, whatever you choose to open, you'll be able to use for those cutscenes and Breaking Point. For career mode as well, obviously we need those more cutscenes. We need this to be integrated into all the career modes, because Breaking Point is also another thing that's only a small amount of the total game cycle, and we need all of this stuff pretty much in the air. It would be nice if, you know, maybe you'd have like a pre-weekend interview with the cutscene, and maybe then your avatar is dressed with this clothing and this stupid sunglasses and horrible hat that's probably overpriced. So VR here, we actually have a little bit of gameplay of somebody that's actually put on the headset. Rather frustratingly for console users, it's not supported for those consoles, despite the fact that PlayStation came out with their own one, so that's a little bit frustrating. VR can be used online, and you can play against people that are watching in normal mode, or whatever mode you want to call that. Basically, the phrase that Lee Mather used was mixed lobbies. So you could, if you wanted to, if you're with your friends and you've all got headsets, VR headsets, you could have a VR lobby, which would probably make a nice video idea. I don't have a headset because they are expensive as well, but you know, I mean, there is that immersion. Apparently they've had to dial back some of the things to try and avoid the player getting nauseous by playing the game in VR. VR. Okay, just one thing I want to show you with the immersive broadcast. Sorry, not the immersive, the broadcast option for the safety car. You've got this nice rear view from the safety car. That would be nice. Obviously, you've got all the formation lap and stuff. As I say, you can actually, I can confirm that you can actually just skip the formation lap as well. So you have got that option, just to go straight to the race and not to bother. As well, obviously you've got this thing where you've got to line that up. We've seen it, I'm pretty sure I've shown this before in a previous episode. And obviously you've also got where you've got to make your own pit stop. Watch though, if you are in broadcast mode, the AI will take over your tire strategy. You see here somebody turns late, as well, and all the pit animations have been recaptured because, of course, you got all bigger wheels for F1 22. Now, obviously, this is the same gameplay that they had for a pit stop error. That's a shame that they haven't captured. It'd be nice for this video if they had captured another bit of gameplay, because if I start it back, if I dialed it back, we saw this little bit of gameplay in that gameplay features trailer that came out a month ago. Was it a month? No, it was a couple of weeks ago or something like that. But this is the same bit of gameplay, so it would be nice if they captured a new bit of gameplay, because, as I say, so far this is the only gameplay that we've actually got of it, and whether or not how frequent this is likely to happen is unknown. Now, here's something we have is department events. Now, you would have, I've mentioned this before, but we haven't actually seen any gameplay for it in driver career mode. I think we saw a bit of My Team the last time, as well. But so obviously this marketing department. It's time to ask Marston to run our Ask the Correct Drivers feature. Do you have time to answer the latest batch of fans' questions? Now, I'm not going to lie, this particular department event, the biggest problem with department events and why they get a little bit boring is because at the end of the day they are just a screen and it's dull. What we really need is some cutscenes. Maybe you give a voice to HR. I'm sure they can find somebody at Codemasters to do some voiceover recording as a PR or HR or whatever department you want to call it, that will then ask you those questions, and then obviously they'd have a media feature, and then rather than just having in the background the PR, HR, whatever you want to call it, department, and you've got these three questions, and you've got these three emotions, which I don't know how that's going to feed back into driver acclaim. Obviously, a few years ago we had that sportsman-like and showman-like thing. Don't quite know if that's going to come back or not for acclaim. I haven't seen any of that. I imagine not, and it might not have that effect. But again, I don't know, because we haven't seen the full effects of what effects all the department events can have. Next up, practice programs. This screen looks familiar. Oh yes. So the three practice program random things are back for F1 22, as is, I believe, quick practice. I imagine that's available. I haven't heard anything to confirm that, but I doubt it's going to be there. But you've obviously got the development boost where you can get percentage off the R&D as well. The R&D, they have changed the bits of the R&D, but the presentation for the R&D is still the same horrible blocky look, which again doesn't look very appealing as well. So you still got the same three, but the biggest change, of course, is of course the presentation of said driver events. You've got, for example, you've got the toggle telemetry graph now available. There's statistics here. Again, and also this is the AR heat map, which is used for like fuel saving, ERS management, and so on. Those ones where you've got to meet the time, and then also the delta, and then also get it in the green as well. I personally would like to see, it says that the practice programs will show the player whether they can make up time, but with that bigger emphasis on custom setups, which I mentioned in the previous video, it would be nice if they could show setup suggestions on how they think they can make time. Run the practice program and those setup suggestions. That would be a big help to the player, instead of just giving telemetry and numbers. That would be, having setup suggestions would be a big thing. And the engineers suggest setup, so why can't in real life? So why can't they get the game in game, Mark Priestley or whoever they want to have, to suggest setup changes for us? Quite a nice feature, actually. I've come to think about that. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see if that comes. F1 Life. Obviously, we saw that menu last time. Here's the new I've got another name for F1 Life, and it's the IKEA simulator. Where that thing where you walk around the showrooms and you can pick up different sofas, for example. I think they also have a virtual room as well on the IKEA website. For example, you can design your own room as well. You've got furniture. I mean, this is IKEA. So it's IKEA furniture. It's an IKEA simulator as well. We've got different types of flooring. There are stuff that's locked. Again, there's stuff with the podium pass as well. And obviously you get to choose your lighting as well, should you wish to. I mean, if I were you, is it really worth spending time going out for designing this? I mean, yes, you might want to set it up, but then after that, you're probably not going to change it once you've spent maybe a couple of minutes setting it up. Obviously, we've got back with the hats again, and then we got this wardrobe. We've got all the supercars here for the very first time. Obviously, we've heard about these before when they got leaked as well. The leak list, full list got leaked, and of course, you can also drive the safety car if you get the Champions Edition as well. They unlock the supercars through these things, supercar tokens, which you can get as you play the game and play those challenges. You unlock items through the podium pass as well, but I don't think there's any cars to unlock through the podium pass. I think it's just clothing and wall art and furniture, which basically renders the podium pass irrelevant as well. But there are challenges, of course. I believe there are 2 challenges per track. I'm not entirely sure how you earn these tokens, but I believe you've got to play the game to win as well, and you've got to play through these challenges where you've got to set average speed, for example. And again, they've set up this user interface here. I don't know if I like it or not. It reminds me of F1 2015, and we all know how that was not a great game. So there's an average speed zone one, for example. There's a rivals one there. The blokes hit the rear. That's more the cockpit gameplay as well. I mean, they have done a good job, but the problem with this is that what's the point of this? I don't actually know what they were thinking of when they said, yes, let's get supercars into the F1 game the same year that Forza are launching Motorsport 8, the same year that GT7's coming out as well. Honestly, to be honest, it looks like they've done a good job, but we have got Forza Motorsport 8, which they spent 5 years building, so that's probably going to be a good game. unlike GT7, which they've not done much with. But you know, it's the F1 game. You don't play the F1 game to play supercars. Yes, to drive the safety car is good. You know, that's something that we have been saying for years, that we would like to drive the safety car. Well, in this case, we have two these days, as opposed to the one when we originally asked for it many years ago. But these other supercars, it's just I don't think it's going to catch on, because there's no point to them. It's like the classic cars, and like the classic cars, it's probably going to die a death at some point in a future F1 game. As well, you still got the same stupid avatars as well. Why could we not even have a full-on customization suite for our avatar's face, for example? This is the face as well is actually viewable in career mode and my team. You know, it's it's the face that you use to represent your character in game for everything, and yet they haven't got the full-on customization, FIFA style customization that we have for this. For example, it's pretty sure some of these blokes, this bloke has been an F1, he's been here since F1 2016. It's time for him to retire as well. A couple of these, yeah, there are a couple of new faces that they have created, for example, but you know, again, all this is well. You've got a few of the new My Team liveries here. This one looks like the McLaren Golf, for example, and here's obviously you've got the option to copy colours, which is good because, you know, HSL. I wish they would go RGB, because, you know, have that option to switch between RGB and HSL. For those of you who know colour palettes as well, but be able to copy colour is good, because that means I don't have to remember the thing, and you can obviously set up your colours. It looks like you've got like a colour palette here, and then obviously you get to choose the three different paint finishes. One thing really annoying, you can't customise your driver number. Really frustrating that that's not customisable. These are simple things that we have asked for ages, and they're just not in the game. So, you know, it's the you know, they've put all their money and time into F1 Life, but I'm sure that they know that that's not going to be where it's going to be played. This is where people are going to spend their time, is customizing their cars and playing those cars in My Team or in online, for example. But as well, and yes, the matte, metallic and satin paint finishes is a nice touch. It does allow things that, you know, that's an extra step, but at the same time, it's not what we want. It's a bit disappointing, especially for the price that they're charging for the F1 game. I'm going to say this now. You know, if you are looking for an F1 game to play this summer, then I recommend you buy F1 Manager 22. Yes, you won't be able to drive the cars, but if you just want to play F1 because you're a fan of F1, you don't mind not driving the cars, then F1 Manager will be the better game for you. And if you do want to drive the new series of cars, then I recommend you get yourself Assetto Corsa and get the mod on the PC version, and you can get the mods for a whole lot cheaper as well, because this game, I don't know, because there's so much lacking from this game as well. And on that note, I've probably rambled on just as long as this video. I do apologise. I'm going to leave it there. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you see plenty more F1 2022 gameplay, and if there's any more game news, because, you know, the relaunch is coming up in 12 days time, or it might be 11 if we're lucky. But yes, until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.